You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt. You know.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Pretty remarkable stuff, man. Anderson Cooper could not end that fast enough. I mean, he was literally protecting this woman from saying anything that could possibly get used to expose the fact that she might not be telling the whole truth, or expose the fact that, you know, this whole lawfare conviction fantasy that the left has. Guys, if you have not been paying attention to this whole Egene Carroll thing that just never seems to go away, I think there's some facts that we should probably all know. You know, that is not what this video is about, but I think it's important. Just a quick recap, because the left will swear to you up and down. They truly do believe that Donald Trump is some sort of convicted offender. But what you probably didn't know, what most people haven't heard, the victim in this case couldn't remember the month, the season, or even the year that she was allegedly assaulted. The dress that she says she was wearing at the time hadn't yet been created. The description she gave of the Bergdorf Goodman dressing room was nowhere near accurate. And on top of all that, her entire account is word for word a Law and Order episode, which, according to her friends, was her second favorite show behind The Apprentice, which I think most of you will find is odd for a victim of somebody. But anyway, another interesting thing, she never spoke about the story, never told anybody about it, even though stories about her own sexuality, her own experiences, her own promiscuity were literally her business. But anyway, I'm not saying that any of those facts should completely or even at all inform somebody's views, but I am saying that I think they're pretty important things to know. And most of that, even more importantly than knowing them, you should know that the judge didn't even allow the jury to hear those facts. And I think even a leftist, looking at this objectively, if any leftist still can do that, would admit that a jury should have probably known these things, right? But anyway, that was then, this is now, and now there's been another quote-unquote conviction. And I think there's some important things to know about this one as well. But before I get into that, guys, this is going to be a huge year for conservatism, man. Be a part of this channel's growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. It's just one little click for you, but it really, really does mean a lot to getting the message out there. So there's a lot going on here. There's so much from basically what the plaintiff asked for and what the jury awarded. Very, very different things. That's kind of interesting. And one interesting thing I think that happened that really is prototypical of not just this case, but everything under the whole Get Trump umbrella. And, you know, it just shows this is what we're up against. You know, CNN shows the Trump attorney explaining a lot of the issues in the case. And as soon as she starts making too much sense, they cut her off. They do their best Rachel Maddow and just pull the feed. And what they're doing, they're trying to, you know, protect their previously uninformed viewers from actual truth.
There was no proof. And I couldn't prove that she didn't bring in the dress. There was no DNA. There was no expert. My experts were denied. Two of them were denied to come in. They didn't let me bring up that Reid Hoffman funded Miss Kaplan. And you know what we got in there? That my witness, who was her friend, who said that she is a drug addict and the drug addict is herself. That friend, I found out in there, was paid for by Miss Kaplan's firm, and that is disgusting. That is a violation of everything I stand for, and that is why I stand with Trump. And that is why so many Americans are so proud that he is running again and so excited to run to the ballot box. But don't get it twisted. We are seeing a violation of our justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not allowed to be stripped of every defense that you have. You are not allowed to be told.
So you're getting an idea now about why Donald Trump's attorney is perceived as effective as she is, which is not particularly effective. Laura Coates if you could truth squat a little bit of this, Alina Habba was saying that Donald
Sure.
Trump was not allowed to introduce defenses. What is she talking about?
She's talking about nonsense, and she's trying to rewrite history. And I honestly would not be surprised if she herself is now vulnerable to accusations that she has made defamatory statements of some kind without proof to the contrary.
Think about that for just a quick moment, man. CNN propagandists opining live on television about rewriting history. It's like they don't even hear the words that they're saying as they come out of their mouth, man. And just listen to her talking about her belief that now maybe Alina Habba should probably be sued. In fact, she probably believes anyone that doesn't believe this particular victim or more importantly, anything that the CNN propagandists say should probably be sued. It's almost like we're seeing in real time the left has discovered some new, shiny new weapon of authoritarianism that they can just unleash against anyone who doesn't believe something other than themselves.
But let me tell you, he did have an opportunity, Jake. This was the damages phase of a trial that he could have attended last year. His presence was voluntary in the sense of whether he was required to actually sit in the trial, but his defense was not voluntary. He had every opportunity, essentially, to put forth evidence, to put up a defense, to testify himself, to do all the things that she spoke of on that courthouse step just now. They made a decision that was different from that. Now you had the penalty phase of a trial, and the judge specifically told them, here are the parameters. We're not relitigating this issue. A jury has already decided the issue that you could have participated fully in. And for that reason, you are limited in trying to have a second bite at the apple, even in the big apple. That was the clear directive from the judge. And so to suggest somehow that it is New York or the jury system or somehow something nefarious was going on that muzzled the defense in the way that they chose to actually defend the case is truly ludicrous. But you know, this is really par for the course in terms of why what you saw on the courthouse steps has been additive for a campaign, even if it is destructive inside of a courtroom. But make no mistake, America, the only role of this particular defense counsel during this phase of the trial was about the damages, not whether a sexual assault had occurred, not the decisions of whether there was discredited. Those were issues of fact, as we call them, meaning the fact finder, the jury, whose job it is to determine the credibility of witnesses before them, to assess the evidence, to follow the instructions of the judge. They made a determination. They would like a different conclusion, but that is not injustice defined.
Thank you.
Isn't that something, man? Did you hear her say he had every opportunity, essentially, to put up a defense? Essentially. He essentially could have defended himself. It's insane that they can even say these things and not laugh. But, you know, she's admitting here that the jury that decided these things didn't have any participation or any input from Donald Trump. I wish that he had participated in the original trial. Obviously, hindsight's always 20/20. You know, maybe this was bad legal advice to not face the woman. But I think they thought, you know, the lady's so wacky, the story is so allegedly bogus. Why even waste the time, right? And, you know what? In any other town and any other defendant, that's probably exactly true. This probably wouldn't have gone even a day. But this is New York, and this is Donald Trump. It's just a different world, you know, different rules and no rules. And even CNN here knows the real truth about what's happened here, as does apparently MSNBC. I'm going to show you, to their very, very strange credit, didn't even hide the unjust things that the court has done to Donald Trump in this case. I mean, the problem here is that their viewers are already so polluted, so damaged, that they just show the things that the judge did this time around. And most of these things you'll see are completely insane. And they feed it to their minions as if it's perfectly normal, and they soak it up as if it's perfectly normal. You know, we've seen in other accounts, you know, Alina Habba talking about how the judge edited her. I wasn't real sure what she meant, but Lawrence O'Donnell seems to break it down for us pretty well.
Judge Kaplan told the Trump lawyers, the jury will be instructed that regardless of what he says in court here today, he did it as far as they're concerned. That is the law. Donald Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, then told the judge she only wanted to ask 3 questions. 1, does Donald Trump stand by the testimony he gave in his deposition? 2, why did he deny attacking Egene Carroll? And 3, did he tell anyone to harm Egene Carroll? After lengthy discussions, the judge said that the Trump lawyer could ask the first question and the third question, but not the second question. The question that the judge ruled out was, why did you deny sexually assaulting Egene Carroll? With the ground rules set, the judge brought the jury into the courtroom, and now that we have the transcript at this late hour, we finally know what was said. The judge said, Ms. Habba, you may call your next witness. Ms. Habba, thank you, Your Honor. The defense calls President Donald Trump. Deputy Clerk, can you please state your name for the record? The witness, Donald John Trump. The judge, you may proceed, Ms. Habba. Ms. Habba, thank you, Your Honor. Question, Mr. President. You viewed your deposition, which was played by plaintiff's counsel at length during the trial, didn't you? Answer, yes, I did. Question, do you stand by your testimony at the deposition? Answer, 100% yes. Question, did you deny the allegation because Ms. Carroll made an accusation? Answer, that's exactly right. She said something. I consider it a false accusation. No difference. Roberta Kaplan, Egene Carroll's attorney, says, objection, Your Honor. The judge says, everything after yes, I did is stricken. The jury will disregard it. Go ahead. Question, did you ever instruct anyone to hurt Ms. Carroll in your statements? Answer, no. I just wanted to defend myself, my family, and frankly, the presidency. Ms. Kaplan, objection, Your Honor. The judge, objection is sustained. Everything after no is stricken. The jury will disregard. Ms. Habba, I have no further questions. Thank you. The judge, thank you. Cross-examination by Ms. Kaplan. Question, good afternoon, sir. Now, your deposition that we watched earlier today in this trial took place in October of 2022, correct? Answer, I believe so, yes. Question. And after that, months after that, there was a trial between you and Ms. Carroll that took place actually in this courtroom, correct? Ms. Habba, objection. The court sustained. Ms. Habba, thank you. Ms. Kaplan, question. Sitting here today, Mr. Trump, are you aware that there was another trial between you and Ms. Carroll? Answer, yes. Ms. Habba, objection. The judge sustained. Question, Mr. Trump, is this the first trial between you and Ms. Carroll that you have attended? Ms. Habba, objection. The judge, I will allow that. Answer, yes. Ms. Kaplan, no further questions, Your Honor. The judge, any redirect? Redirect examination by Ms. Habba. Question, Mr. President, did you have counsel at the last trial? Answer, I had counsel. Question, did you listen to the advice of counsel at the last trial? Ms. Kaplan, objection, Your Honor. The judge, sustained. Ms. Habba, no further questions. The court, thank you, Mr. Trump. You are excused. And that was it. 3 minutes. The first time a former president of the United States testified under oath in a trial as a defendant in that trial. Leading off our discussion tonight is Andrew Weissman, former FBI general counsel and former chief of the criminal division in the Eastern District of New York. He's an MSNBC legal analyst and the co-author.
Can you imagine being so intellectually deficient that you can sit there and listen to Lawrence O'Donnell read you a transcript of something so rotten and so corrupt, and you just sit there thinking, yeah, looks good to me, man. They followed the law. That looks great. They got the bastard. They question absolutely nothing, man. Somebody's watching this at home and believing every word. They know that they're not going to question anything, and you know that because they think they own those people. They do own their minds and their thoughts so deeply that they can bring on a political animal, a habitual Trump hater like Andrew Weissman, and the people at home don't even make a sound, right? It's remarkable, man. But here's what I always come back to. If Donald Trump is even half as bad or half as dangerous as they claim that he is, why do they cheat? You know, why do they have to manufacture? Why do they have to mislead? Why do they have to mischaracterize every single thing they feed to their viewers, to their minions, to their people? is rooted in lies. You know, if he's everything you say he is, just play fair. You know, we will all respect you for it. Just play fair and get the guy if you think you can. But anyway, that's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. And if you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.